All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Emigrate Open Day. Thank you for joining us. And just to make sure I'm not speaking to myself, could you confirm if you can hear me and if you can see my screen? Welcome. You can't unmute yourself yet, so you can just pop in the chat that you can hear me and that you can see my screen. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Today, we will be speaking about 5 tech-enabled routes to relocation in 2022. And we have a lot to say around many of these tech-enabled visa opportunity routes. Yes, I see your comment. Thank you. Welcome to Emigrate Open Day. At Emigrate, we focus on tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. Thank you for joining us for this open day. We usually have this open day twice a month, but this will be the last edition for 2021. So we're glad to have you join us. For those that are regulars in the community, welcome as well. We do have some information and some of them new information to share as well. Just to give an overview of what we'll be doing today, I'll start by just sharing some information around what Emigrate is, what we focus on, what do we mean when we say tech-enabled visa pathway. And then right after that, we will jump into those 5 tech-enabled visa options that we would like to focus on for this edition. And then right after that, we will get, if we do have time, we will get into an Emigrate Open consultation session where you can literally come on stage and ask any question pertaining specifically to yourself, and we will try to answer the question to the best of our ability. 5 tech-enabled route to relocation in 2022. I would also mention that we've been having Emigrate Open Day at least twice every month this year. What that means is there's a lot of different information available from different countries of the world where these different pathways are available. From the US, where Okoyemi, Toby, quite a number of people have spoken, to the UK, where a lot of people have spoken in the UK as well, to Canada, to France. All of these have different pathways, different opportunities, and we've brought in guests at different editions who have drilled down into these different pathways. Today, we will be doing almost like a recap of many of these things that have been said, and we would also encourage that please take a look at some of those videos. They are very profitable and very good information in them that these guests, these coaches have shared with us as a community. So what is Emigrate? I'll run through this very quickly so that we can focus on those 5 routes that we would like to speak about. At Emigrate, what we do is we help you become globally attractive. And there are 2 ways we see globally attractive in this sense and in this context. The first one is you having a globally attractive tech profile. The second one is you having a globally attractive tech-enabled business. Yes, many of us are interested in one visa type or the other. We probably want to move from our own country, or we're already in a different country and are looking at a different route to settle in those countries. But one of our message at Emigrate is that the visa itself is only a side effect. Many of these visa opportunities that we speak about, and many of them that we'll be drilling down into today, they are a side effect of something. If your profile or your your business is globally attractive, then you would have options, because many of these countries, they are actually not doing you a favor. What they are doing is they're asking you to bring your talent, bring your ideas, bring your innovation, bring all of those to come and build their economy. They know that you are going to pay taxes. They know that you are going to create employment. They know that you are going to fill job gaps that exist. For example, in the UK, there are over 100,000 jobs available that employers in the UK are not able to fill because they can't find the right talent in the right country at the right price and all of those. And so those are the kinds of things that these countries have seen and said that, oh, for us to build our economy, we need to bring in talent. We need to bring in new businesses. We need to bring in innovation. And that is where you come in. That is where many of these tech-enabled visa pathways also come in. And so one of our key messages, if you become globally attractive, you will have many options. As regards Emigrate itself, we do have a bunch of services, and our services cover things like information and inspiration. It covers general inquiry. It covers coaching and handholding. Many people require that. It covers assessment where necessary to say, do I even qualify? And if you don't qualify yet, it also covers things like a self-directed roadmap to say, what are the things I can do for me to qualify in the next 2 weeks, or maybe 3 months, or maybe 1 year, or maybe 2 years. The key point is that these opportunities are available to individuals. They are not available to just superheroes. They are not only available to Nobel Prize winners. They are available to you. The question is, do you already qualify, or can you plan your profile, your career, such that you will qualify for this? We also advise that at the end of the day, when you move out of your own country to your host country, you will still need to earn income. You will still need to either get a job, start a business, build opportunities, and so on. So what that means is that you might as well start doing some of these things now rather than waiting till later. We also help with roadmap to becoming globally attractive. And then, for example, with the Tech Nation visa, we help with endorsement review process. We help with also application for endorsement process as well. As regards to Emigrate, we do a lot of things for free. A lot of the services available in Emigrate is, so we operate a freemium model basically. And so under the free, we have the information and inspiration. The Emigrate Open Days are free for now. In the future, they will be paid because some of the guests we bring in, we believe that we should really be able to offer them something, even if it's honorarium or something along that line. But for now, the Emigrate Open Days are free. We do have the Emigrate community. There are two versions of the community. There's the free community, which is, as I said, free. And within that community, you're able to find other people who are on the same journey as you. We do also have the premium community for people who are a bit more invested in the journey. For some of them invested with other Emigrate services. For some of them invested and ready to just say, oh, I want other people to handhold me as I go on this journey. Under free, we still have the introductory videos. We have the Emigrate Open Consultation where you can come on and ask questions as you see fit. We also have some office hour sessions that are starting, and we have the short inquiry sessions as well. For now, we are only able to do 1 10-minute short inquiry session for free per person. So we ask that please, before you come into those short inquiry sessions, please do your own research. Take a look at all the information available for free. Watch some of the videos. Google some of these keywords that will be dropping: Tech Nation visa, French Tech visa, Canada Startup visa. Google them. There's a lot of information in the public domain, and that's not where we come in. Where we come in is not for us to tell you to say, oh, go and read this site. You should have done that by the time you are coming for a short inquiry session. The short inquiry session is designed that, oh, if you are now taking a look at all of that and you get confused, or you have a specific question unique to you and so on, then you can ask in those kinds of sessions. So it is not a replacement for you doing your own research. For example, the Tech Nation visa guide will take you 1 hour to read. A 10-minute session is not where we are able to explain what has been available for you to read. No, the 10-minute session is where you can say, oh, I found this and I'm not sure if it applies to me, and so on. And then we are able to answer some of those questions. Under our premium plans, we have things like personalized consultation. We have the standard package, which is a combination of about 3 different coaching sessions. And then we have the Emigrate Premium service, which is a 1 to 2 year journey, literally hand-holding and guiding in a 1 to 2 year plan for you to qualify for one or all of these tech-enabled visa opportunities. We have the Emigrate community. We have launched the community now on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. So Emigrate community exists on WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we ask that please share this information, share about Emigrate, but even if you don't want to advertise Emigrate for free, share with your community these opportunities that do exist. The reason is that we find that many people do not know about these opportunities. Yes, it will surprise you, but the truth is some of the things we will share today, you may not have known about them as well. And if you didn't know about it, the chances are many people in your community also do not know about it. And if that is the case, then be your brother's keeper and share this information. But in addition, we ask that please engage with us, like, share, comment, and so on, and let's grow together. Let's grow together as a community. And that's part of what we are building in Emigrate. Aside from the Emigrate services, Bincom Dev Center, who is the host organization for Emigrate at this point, have other services. One of those services is what we call the Bincom Global Tech Program. The Bincom Global Tech Program says you can learn tech now and pay later. We focus on 3 key pillars in the field of technology: learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure, because we believe a combination of those 3 is what makes you globally attractive. The program is structured for both people who are at beginner level in the field of technology, and what they need is to be able to gain the right skill, gain the right experience, gain the right skill. But we also have the program available for people who are at the intermediate level skill, meaning that what they need is, yes, they already have the skill, but what they are looking for is the right experience and the right exposure. Because by the time we drill into some of these visa opportunities, you start realizing that you hardly qualify for some of these if you don't have the right combination of the skill, experience, and exposure. So you cannot say you are Captain Local Host. Captain Local Host is you have all the skills, but show us some of the things you've done in the past, 0. Show us some of the things that where you've been seen or qualified and so on, 0. You also can't say, I have the experience in tech, but then what kind of experience do you have? It's outdated technology that the world is not interested in anymore, that the world is not interested in right now. You can't say that that's what you have. But yeah, that's the Bincom Global Tech Program. It's available. The cost of the program is 1.2 million naira, but the company says that you can learn tech now and pay later under the income sharing agreement. What that means is that you only start paying at the point when you start earning high income in the field of technologies. This is one of the services available within the Bincom Dev Center stack. Another service available is the Bincom Mentoring Platform. You'll find out with some of these opportunities that we'll be talking about today, one of the ways you can show yourself as globally attractive is showing the kind of mentoring that you have done. And so for some of us on the call who are highly experienced in the field of technology, one of the things we encourage you to do is mentoring. And it can't just be you mentored your colleague, you mentored someone informally. It has to be a structured mentoring platform. And one of those structured mentoring platforms is what we offer at Bincom as the Bincom Mentoring Platform. You can register for that. You can register to become a mentor as long as you have the right experience in the field of technology, because we do have people in our community and network as well who are trying to come up in the field of technology, and you can help mentor them. And at the same time, what you are doing is you are putting some public artifact on your profile that you have a globally attractive tech profile. We also have something called Labs by Bincom, which helps people to build product-led digital technology with a team. And it's a 3 to 6 months program. What happens is we bring about 3 to 10 people together who are also interested in Labs by Bincom. And what you need to do is to build a product-led digital technology product, right? and that product itself must be used by real life users. So it can't be something you will just do for play or sample and all of that. You have to have real users. So it's going to go through all process of marketing and so on. And some of the tech-enabled pathway we'll be talking about today, you will realize that this is one of the ways you can show yourself as globally attractive. If you're in tech, particularly if you're passionate about tech, then Emigrate is built for you. But when I say tech, I say technology, not just the technical side of tech. It can also be on the business side of tech. For example, project management, product management, service management, digital marketing, even enterprise sales. Some of these also qualify because these are also skills needed in the field of technology. You can even be on the investment side of tech as well, right? But the key thing around Emigrate is we want you to be interested in attaining global mobility. We want you to be interested in showing yourself as globally attractive. For us, Emigrate started as just a problem we saw internally within our organization, where we saw that a lot of people were not aware of opportunities that were available for them just because they are in tech. Now, it gets worse because some other people, in addition to not being aware, when they are made aware of those opportunities, they don't realize that these opportunities are available to them. Maybe because of how the different countries have treated us and so on, they don't realize that they are the talents that many other countries of the world are looking for. They don't realize that they can build themselves to a point where you can become globally attractive with the right skill, with the right experience, with the right exposure, either your tech-enabled profile or your tech-enabled business, and then you qualify for those opportunities. For us at Emigrate, how it's going at the moment is that we've been sharing information, we've been coaching, handholding, helping with strategy, helping with consultation, advisory, and also a community around individuals to help them grow to these levels that we are talking about. Nobody can guarantee you a visa. And Emigrate is not saying we are guaranteeing you a visa. We are also not offering you immigration or legal advice. Instead, what we are doing is we are sharing with you information, inspiration, and also helping coach you towards these opportunities that exist. Why does it work? Why does it work? It's because, as I said at the beginning, these countries of the world are looking for you. They want a talent such as yourself to come to their economy to add value. In the future, we've experimented with Emigrate for a little over a year now, and we've understood that it is going to become its own startup. It's going to become a platform connecting globally attractive people and helping people attain global mobility. And the problem is to help people become globally attractive and also help global mobility for African founders and techies as well, incubated by Bincom Dev Center. Please understand that the difference between the word immigrant and expatriate is the side of the ocean that you are traveling from and where you are traveling to. And so what we are saying is that, can you become an expatriate? Can you become so skilled that these countries of the world will ask you to come to them? At Emigrate, these are some of the tech-enabled visa pathways and routes that you may want to take a screenshot of. You may want to Google them, and we'll be drilling down into some other pathways today. But a question people ask is that, what should I be doing right now? It will depend on where you are. It will depend on your unique circumstance. It will depend on what country you are interested in for whatever reason. It will depend on many things. It will depend on what career track you plan for yourself. It will depend on where you are going. It will depend on where you are coming from. And there are several others like that. But an example here is in the UK, where if you're going from Nigeria, for example, to the UK, there are different visa types that are available to you. And it will depend on what level you are in your career for you to know this is the one I can target at this point in time. If you are in early stages of your career, you can target something like the Exceptional Promise Visa, which is under the Global Talent Visa. If you are at a little older in your career, then if you have more than 5 years experience in the field of technology, you cannot be considered as exceptional promise anymore. At that point, you have to then be able to target something like the exceptional talent visa. There's also the innovator visa, and it has its requirement. There's the startup visa. It doesn't have a route to settlement, but you can grow from that visa to another visa that then has a route to settlement. So it would depend on many things, and you can do research. Also, understand that it could also be your startup or your individual profile. So the UK Global Talent Visa, for example, focuses on your individual profile. The UK Skilled Worker Route focuses on your individual profile, where you need to get a job that will sponsor your visa application. But then there are some that focuses on your company, you as a founder. So like the UK Startup Visa, like the UK Innovator Visa, those ones focus on your tech-enabled business. And it's up to you to be able to plan your career to say this is where you want it to go. So why we came into the room today, which is around the 5 tech-enabled route to relocation that you can explore in 2022. A few things before we go into the different routes is, and this is how this section of today will go. We will first give a quick overview of the 5 routes. Then I will share my browser screen where we will drill down into some of those routes, just sharing some information that some of us may have missed along some of those routes as well. And then we will open up for questions around any one of the routes that you may be interested in. But a caveat is, for every one of these routes, first of all, they all have a pathway to settlement, and that is important to us at Emigrate Community. We sort of are focusing on many of these visa types that do have a pathway for settlement. So if you are going in the US, if you are going to the UK, if you are going to Canada, and so on, we are focusing on some of these opportunities, visas that have a pathway to settlement. Sometimes, however, you may want to consider to say, maybe you want to go to an intermediate country before you go to your final destination country. So you may want to move to a couple of countries that are friendly to techies for like 2 years or 1 year and so on, before you then move to wherever it is that you want to settle fully in for your family or for yourself. For most of this pathway as well, you can move with your family, right? Some of these pathways are not for beginners in tech, but the reason why we would encourage beginners, even in tech, to listen carefully is because you can plan. You can plan that within 1 year, within 2 years, I will qualify for this, because they will show you, they've already shown you what the requirements are. And to a large extent, many of these visa types will be around for many months or years to come. We can't guarantee that because we are not the ones that make the policies in all these countries. However, there are a couple of principles. That scarcity is there, and it's not something that will be filled in a year or two. There's a competition for talent. Every country of the world understands, well, forward-thinking countries of the world, they understand that tech is the new oil. And talents, tech talents particularly, they want their own country to be attractive to those talents. We are focused at Emigrate on tech-enabled opportunities, so it's by no means saying that, oh, these are all the visas that are available, right? And many of these opportunities have been discussed in depth in different Emigrate Open Day sessions, where we brought people who are either on that visa, were on that visa, some of them that we helped in this community, some of them that, got onto the visa before Emigrate as a community even started. The key point is these people have been able to share about their experience, why these visas are available, what the requirements are, how they went about it, what their own journey was, and so on. And so if you're interested in any of these visa types, you may want to watch some of those videos where some people have shared their journey. The lowest common denominator across all these visa types is the fact that these people were globally attractive. These visas are designed for the globally attractive people of the world. And that's the lowest common denominator. So let's drill down. We picked one visa type per country, actually. And so in the UK, there's something called the Global Talent Visa. The Global Talent Visa is not just for technology. And some of these visa types, I should mention as well, it's not only for technology, it's just that we are focused in Emigrate community on tech and tech-enabled pathways. The Global Talent Visa exists for different fields: fashion, engineering, arts, and several others as well. And then, of course, digital technology. For each one of these Global Talent Visas, there is an endorsing body where the Home Office in the UK have said that this endorsing body, if they say that your profile matches the people we want, you will get a visa. And so the visa is broken down into two stages. The first stage is the endorsement stage, where you will go to the endorsing body to say, take a look at my profile. Can you endorse me for this visa? And then the second stage is you then going to the Home Office website. Home Office is the UK Immigration Office, and then applying for your visa. To a large extent, except you were a criminal or something, or what's the name, as soon as you get that endorsement, you actually will get the visa. I personally don't know of anyone that's gotten endorsement and never gotten visa, right? I'm sure maybe it does happen, but the key point is that that endorsement is the only gate that the country, the United Kingdom, has put in place to say once an endorsing body has endorsed you, then you will get the visa. For the Global Talent Visa in the UK, if you qualify under exceptional talent, it's 3 years to indefinite leave to remain, which is permanent residency in the UK. If you qualify under the exceptional promise, it is 5 years to the permanent residency, indefinite leave to remain in the UK. Now, after you get an indefinite leave to remain, you need just 1 more year for you to become a citizen of the United Kingdom. People say it's the gold standard in visas, and there are several other tech-enabled visa types in the UK. For example, there's the startup visa, there's the innovator visa, where if you have a startup and there's a recommending body who recommends you to say, oh, these startup founders can get a visa, and you meet some of the other criteria, like you need to have money, about $50,000 and so on, then you qualify for the visa. But for you to get the permanent residency for that particular visa, innovator visa, you will need to prove a few other things. For example, did you create employment, or did you earn a certain level of income, and so on. So that's a different visa type. But with the Global Talent Visa, all of that is not there in terms of requirement. The requirement is get an endorsement from the endorsing body. The endorsing body for the digital technology field is a company called Tech Nation. That's the only endorsing body as of today. We assume that in the near future, there will be many more endorsing bodies, or there will at least be a second endorsing body for this particular visa. But for today, it's only the Tech Nation that endorses. And that's the reason why you add this visa, also called the Tech Nation visa, right? It's something to check out, and we will drill down into this visa in the during this event today. Another one is for the United States. As I mentioned, we picked one visa type per country. You can take a look at the O1 visa. H1B1 visa is there. Some of us are probably familiar with that, but there's also the O1 visa for individuals with extraordinary ability or achievement. But when many people read this, what they are thinking is Nobel Prize, Academy Awards, and so on. The truth is that tech people have qualified and are qualifying under this visa type. The O1 visa by itself does not have a pathway to settlement, but then it can, if you get the O1 visa, you can easily get the EB1 or EB2 visa, and that has a pathway to settlement. We'll talk a bit more about this as well, and this is something you can take a look at and take a look at some of the requirements, and we'll discuss it. In Canada, Canada has something called the Canada Startup Visa. And with the Canada startup visa, what it is as the name entails, what they are looking for are startup founders. And so if you go to, if you do have a startup, there's a gate for this visa as well. For every visa type, there's a gate, right? Because think about it, if there was no gate, then everybody would apply and everybody would be qualified. So there's a gate. The gate here is that one of the we can think of them as endorsing bodies as well. One of the particular people have to incubators that have been recognized by the government of Canada or investors that have been recognized by the government of Canada must back your business. And so that's the actual gate that you have to get over in the case of the Canada startup visa. Now, interesting thing is that some of these you can get on merit. Some of these you can actually get by getting onto a program that is paid by these incubators. And we spoke about this in one of the open days. France has the French Tech Visa. And with the French Tech Visa, it's available for 3 key types of people in the field of technology. It's available for employees, it's available for founders, and it's available for investors in the field of technology. There are some requirements for the visa type as well. There are some gates that you need to pass through for you to be able to qualify. And you can find more information about this online, but we'll drill down a bit more into this visa type as well during today's event. The final one is the German work visa for IT specialists. And as the name implies, this would require you to actually get hired by a company in Germany. And if you get hired by that company in Germany, they will sponsor your visa. In some cases, like one of the guests that we had in the Emigrate Open Day, the company may even sponsor your flights and initial accommodation and several other things for you to relocate to Germany. But this is a visa type that is also available that you can explore, particularly if you have the right combination of experience, skill, and exposure in the field of technology. Basically, if your profile is globally attractive, these countries of the world want you like yesterday. All right, so at this point, I would like to know, as we would now be drilling down into these different visa types, we will speak about all 5, but which one would you like us to spend more time on out of these 5 that have been mentioned? I will take them again. These are the 5 we've mentioned, and we will now be drilling down into each one of these visa types. So type in the comment to say this is the one you would like us to spend the most time on as we now drill down into the different visa types. So there was the United Kingdom, the Global Talent Visa. There was the United States, O1 visa for individuals with extraordinary ability or achievement. In Canada, Canada Startup Visa. France, French Tech Visa. And then Germany, the German Work Visa for IT specialists. Which one would you like us to spend more time on during the rest of this event right now? So please pop in the comments the one you would like to hear more about the most. Please bear in mind, as I mentioned, we will touch on every single one of them, but that would help us also determine the one that you would like to. So I'm seeing people, Tech Nation, German Work Visa, UK Global Talent, okay. Tech Nation, interesting. Okay. Somebody shortened it, UKGT, okay. German Work Visa. Okay, Tech Nation. Some people haven't commented. Okay, so I think I get a sense of the audience, and so we will touch on all 5, and we will focus on some of the ones that I'm seeing in the chat at the moment, right? Fantastic. So as I mentioned, the first of the 5 would be the Tech Nation visa, UK Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology. And what the UK is looking for is that if you are a leader or a potential leader in the field of digital technology, you can apply for this visa. That's pretty much it. The only question you would then have is that how can I show myself as globally as a leader or a potential leader in the field of technology? And that's where Tech Nation comes in, because Tech Nation is the endorsing body, and they are the body that focuses, that are able to help people in terms of endorsing people for this particular visa that we're talking about. So Tech Nation visa, the Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology. One of the things I advise people, particularly members of the immigrant community, is that please read through this entire visa guide. It will take you about 1 hour to go through, but the truth is that by the time you are done reading it, it gives you an idea of what it is that this country, the United Kingdom, is looking for. And so if you have that idea of what they are looking for, then you can compare with your profile. Do I qualify immediately, or can I qualify in the future? Now, this guide, right, for the visa type, you need to qualify under many examples of skills that you can qualify. As you can see here, it shows you that you can either qualify under technical skills or business skill. For this visa type, what they are interested in is you. They are not interested in what you did with your company. They are not interested so much in your startup, even though you can show that, oh, as a founder of this particular startup, this startup is globally attractive. I'm the one that built the startup, so therefore I'm globally attractive. You can do that. But the truth is that they are really interested in you as an individual, what you yourself did, not that we did X. They want to know, I did this, is what they are interested in. That being said, 2 types of skill, either technical skills or business skills. Many of the skills that are modern at this point in time are listed expressly on this visa guide to say this is a skill that we are interested in, and that if you're an expert, experienced, recognized in your field, contributing to your ecosystem in this particular field, we want you to go to the UK. We want you to go to the UK and build the UK economy. Some of them, DevOps and SysOps, hardware engineers, video game engineers, UI UX designers, and several others that you can see on the screen at the moment for technical skills. Also business skills, you have many that are also listed there. Digital marketing, or well, performance marketing is what they are most interested in. So don't go there and say, oh, I created a Facebook page for my company. Nah, but if you've done things like performance marketing, which is they are interested in your skill. If you've done things like product management, project management, and things like that, these are listed at on this visa guide. It also says expressly that they are not interested if you are just a consultant. So if you say, oh, I've just been outsourced to different companies and all of that, or I built website for many companies and I built website for like 20, 50, 100 different companies, they're not so interested in you, right? However, there are ways in which you can also garnish your profile to actually qualify, even if what your experience is around consulting. Also, clearly stated here is, because this is one of the questions we get a lot, is that this is not an exhaustive list of all the skills that qualify. This is just an example. And so please bear that in mind as well. Now, the criteria is, as I mentioned earlier, there are 2 types. There's the exceptional talent or exceptional promise. Exceptional talent is a leader in the field of technology. Exceptional promise is an aspiring leader, a potential leader in the field of technology. If you qualify under any of those 2, they are interested in having you in their economy. Exceptional talents. These are, I would focus on exceptional promise because I'll focus on exceptional promise because I can simply say for exceptional talent, you just need to show much more of that. And so for exceptional promise, you need to show this criteria has changed a lot in the last 3, 4, 5 years. A lot of things have changed. For example, this particular visa, a couple of years back, they were only allowed to give out 200 of these visa every year. That changed about 3 years ago or 2 years ago, where it is now open to say it is unlimited because the UK government is really banking on this particular visa type to help them bring people that will plug the skills gap that is apparent in the UK. If you go online, you will find public domain information where they talk about over 100,000 skills that are vacant, and they can't find the right people to fill that gap as of today. And so they want people to leave your own country, and they want you to go to the UK to actually help them build their economy. For exceptional promise, the criteria is you need to qualify under 3 or 5 criteria listed. The first one is you have to show that you have been recognized as a potential leader, as a potential to be a leading talent in the digital technology field. And if you ask me, oh, how can I show this? I will just go down this visa guide, and we'll probably have time to do that and show you how you can show that. Number 2 is you need to show at least one example of innovation. If you check this page just about 6 months ago, it said at least 2 examples of innovation. That has changed as well because the UK has sort of reduced the barrier of entry to say, okay, fine, if you have at least one example of innovation as a founder of a product-led digital technology company, or as an employee working on a new digital field or concept. So you don't necessarily need to be a founder of a startup to qualify for this visa type. However, there are a few things that you would know if you are familiar with the process. And that's why we do advise people in the way we advise, depending on the specific profile that you do have at the point when you are joining the Emigrate community, and at the point when you are going on the roadmap we create for this visa type. You need at least one example of proof of recognition for works beyond your occupation. So you can't say that they gave you an award in your office, and so that way I qualify. No, it has to be outside your immediate office. It has to be from the ecosystem. They are interested in knowing if you're actually building the ecosystem or you're just earning your high salary in your own country and you want to then move to go and earn times 10 of that same high salary in a new country with the same skill level, right? You need to have at least one example of significant technical, commercial, or entrepreneurial contribution to the field as either a founder or employee, but whichever one, whether you're founder or employee, it has to be in a product-led digital technology company. That is important. It can't be consulting. It needs to be product-led. So please take a look at your profile from that perspective. And then the last one is more academic in nature. And so members of the community, if you are in the line of academics and all of that, this may be for you, which is an example of exceptional ability in the field by academic contribution through research endorsed by an expert, right? And people in academia probably know what this is talking about. And I won't spend so much time talking about it because it's not the most popular criteria in the community for people that qualify and the people that we've helped in Emigrate to qualify for this visa type. We've not been publicly talking about our successes, and it's deliberate. But from next year, we will be bringing in people that have gone through these routes this year through Emigrate, and we are really excited about many of those successes. We are very, very excited about them. But that being said, there's a lot of information here that you need to read and you need to get familiar with if you are interested in this particular visa type, this does not cost you anything. If you can see, I'm literally just reading from a public website that you have available as well to your disposal. Every one of the sites where we'll be looking at today are the government website of these different countries talking about these visa types. So it's available for you to Google as well. But yes, if you ask the question, how do I show that I have been recognized, or I've been recognized as a leader, or I've been recognized as a potential leader in the field, then I will show you just this part of the document that talks about what you can show. You can show things like you've led growth of product-led digital technology coming in. You can show those kinds of growth, but I will emphasize something, that it also is asking you to show things outside your day-to-day job role. You need to do things and you need to contribute in the ecosystem. You need to be recognized. You need to speak at tech conferences, no matter how small, right? But if you take a look at this guide, you will see that some of the ones they consider is if you've spoken in front of a crowd of more than 100 people, they even specify it. The question is that, are these things that you are working towards? Are these things that are in your control? Can you get your friend that is organizing a big tech conference to get you to speak? Have you appeared in newspaper? Are you appearing in newspaper? Are you mentoring? These are some of the ways which you can show that you have been recognized in the field. Are you earning a high salary in the field of technology? Right? But please, when you say high salary, please compare with international standard, right? Just do currency conversion and check what the minimum wage in whatever country you are targeting is versus what your salary is. It's not a high salary if what you are earning is a minimum wage in global standard, regardless of if for your own country, it is high salary. Please bear that in mind. And there are several others. Have you received awards, either internationally recognized or nationally recognized awards, and several others as well? Have you been in trade newspaper? Have you submitted articles in trade newspapers, and so on? So there are several options here of things that you can use and things you can show from your profile to show that you do qualify under these routes. Now, you can ask yourself, particularly around exceptional promise, if you are 5 years in the field of technology, how long would it take for you to build? If you are less than 5 years in the field of technology, within 1 year, you can actually build a lot of these things that have been written here. You can build a lot of the things that have been written here within a 1 year period for exceptional promise. For exceptional talents, if you already have more than 5 years in the field of technology, of course, you've been doing many things over the last 5 years. What that means is that you can take a look at some of those things you've been doing and check, do some of these things qualify? And if they do qualify, do I tick all the boxes that they are looking for today? Or do I need to put in some more work? Do a skills gap, a gap analysis to say, oh, these are the ones where I have a gap in. And then you can start working towards some of those things where you have a gap in as well. Now, please understand that they are asking for a track record. So you can't say, oh, my name appeared in the newspaper yesterday, and then I'm going to apply tomorrow. It doesn't work that way, because it's people like me that will assess your profile to check, to say, does this person qualify under this guideline? We are not asking you to fake it. It is very difficult to fake it. We are saying that be globally attractive and then present your profile. And assessors will mark your profile and will say you do qualify or you do not qualify to go to the UK under these routes. It gets more interesting because if you are trying to, if you need to get a job or you need to build something, and if you are trying to do that, it's still the same criteria that they are going to assess you by. So it makes sense for you to build yourself up and qualify under these routes. If you have questions, please drop your questions in the chat. We would take time to answer your questions. We'll take time to answer your questions in the chat, but we would have space for at least 2 open consultation where you can come on the stage and then you can ask your question and we'll answer to the best of our ability. If you're coming on, please understand that this session is being recorded. And so please don't share anything that is private to you or that you don't want on the internet. I remember the internet never forgets. Second thing is that if you're coming on stage, we can only spotlight you if you have your camera on. And so you will need to ensure that your camera is on so that we can spotlight you. But yeah, I spent a lot of time on that particular visa because I saw that many of us were interested in that particular visa, and we'll just run through some of these other ones. So the US, this is the US Citizenship and Immigration Services site, and this is the official site that talks about this particular visa type. And I just have something open there that just gives you an idea of some of the things that you need to show to qualify for this. For this particular visa, you can apply by yourself, but we don't generally advise that. What we advise is that you will need a US lawyer to actually file a petition for you. The good news is within the immigrant community, we have relationship with US lawyers where you don't have to pay anything until they have even assessed you. They have a 100% success rate on this visa type. And they have a 100% success rate because they do a pre-assessment of your profile before they take you on as a client. So by the time you are actually getting on their service, it's not us directly, but we can introduce you to that service. By the time you are getting on that service, to a large extent, they've done their own assessment of you. And then what they are doing is petitioning the US government to say that, oh, this person deserves this particular visa by itself. What are some of the things that you need? National or international award in your field, published material in professional or major media, so your work appearing in newspaper or trade media and so on, membership of association in your field, participation as a judge of people's work in the field. So if you've been judge of like hackathons and all of that, and so on, these are some of the things that they are looking out for to say, if you have these things, then we think that you would add value to the US economy. So come to the US and come and add value in the US to the economy. Significant contribution in the field, authorship of scholarly work, and then maybe employment in essential capacity, high salary, and so on. These are things that you can show for this particular visa, type. So Canada startup visa. With the Canada startup visa, the gate is that your startup has to be endorsed by one of the companies that the government of Canada have designated as an organization that can endorse startups. The list of those organizations are available in the public domain as well. The list of those organizations you can find, and they could either be business incubators, angel investor groups, or venture capital funds, any one of those 3. And there's a list of all of them that the government of Canada has approved, right? We focus on incubators because they don't have to put in their money in you. What they just have to do is endorse that your idea is good and that they think that you as a person, based on your profile, your founder, your previous work, and so on, can scale this idea in Canada. Interesting thing is that when you get the permanent residency, you actually don't have to work on that idea again. But we hope that, I mean, if you're going to go down this route, you would actually be interested because you want to build value. Not that you just want to use that route and then shut it off for many other people in the future as well. This is a list of them, and some of these you can actually get into their program easier than others. But even if you get into some of these programs, it doesn't automatically mean they will endorse you. So I should mention that. What it just means is that you are closer to that endorsement. If you get an endorsement from them, then you will qualify. And what are they looking out for? Pretty much the same thing we've said over and over again during this session today. if you are globally attractive, if your idea can be scaled all over the world. The startup itself may fail at the end of the day, but the thing is that we need to take a bet on you. And meanwhile, while they are taking that bet on you, you are able to move your family to a better economy where you can also fulfill your potential. I'll move on to the next one so that we'll have a bit of time for questions and answer. The French Tech Visa. French Tech Visa, as I mentioned, for founders, for employees, and then for investors as well. And then with the French Tech Visa, same idea, just looking at the one for founders, you need to have some financial resource to be able to qualify. The same idea of you need to get endorsement from one of these incubators from France for them to say, oh, this person's idea is worth the money, and let them come to France to build this idea to something that will become globally renowned at the end of the day. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat, and then we will take as many of them as possible as well. If you're interested in also coming on stage to ask a question, just raise your hand. There's a raise hand feature in Zoom. Just raise your hand and then switch on your camera so that we can spotlight you, and then you can ask your question. The fifth one is the German, the German, I can't remember how they call it, but basically is a visa type for IT specialists if they have, if they've gotten employment from one of the companies that can actually sponsor your visa from Germany. And this visa type also has a pathway to settlement in Germany. And so what you need to qualify for this visa type, you need to have been offered a job in the IT sector in Germany. You need to be able to at least 3 years of experience in IT sector. And so, like I mentioned, some of these visa types are not available for beginners in the field of tech, because the people that these countries of the world are looking for are people that have shown either that they are potentials or that they are leaders in the field of technology. And yeah, so these are some of the requirements that you can take a look at as well around the German visa, work visa for IT specialists. So that's it. Those are 5 routes that you can explore in 2022, particularly if you have the right experience in the field of technology. And if you don't yet have that right combination of experience, skill, and exposure, you can start building it, because for every one of these visa type, they have in public domain how you can qualify, what you need to show to qualify, and several others like that. So if you have questions, please drop them in the chat, or you can raise your hand in the Zoom and switch on your camera so that we can bring you on stage live for you to ask your question. We hope this was useful. We hope that you got something from this session in terms of information, and in terms of also what you can do immediately around these visa types. Questions? We'd like feedback as well. If this was useful for you, if this was informative, please let us know so that we know we should keep doing it. We've gotten very good feedback in the past, but we would like to keep getting feedback because we're spending our time doing this as well. So we would like those feedback. And then if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. Okay, I see a question here to say, I have some of these criteria. How do I move forward? If you, like I mentioned during I'm not sure what visa type you're interested in, but as I mentioned during the presentation, if you can do a gap analysis to say these are the 10 things that they are asking for, and I qualify with all 10, then you can apply immediately, right? But if you only qualify maybe 3 of 10, then you can plan to say, okay, fine, how do I make sure I qualify within the next period of time under this category or this category or this category and so on, so that I will qualify. right? If you need help, Immigrate Community is available for you. The free community where you can ask questions around some of those. But there's also the Immigrate Circle, and we do have some premium plans where we can also help with handholding and coaching around these different visa types as well. So that would be the answer. I see someone's hand up, and I believe your camera is on as well. So I will put you on spotlight now, and then you'll be able to unmute yourself. Spotlight done. Trying to get you to unmute, if I can find it. One moment. Yeah, you should be able to unmute yourself now. And then, okay, yeah. You should be able to unmute. Yeah, you're unmuted. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. This is very interesting.
We can't hear you though. I know you've unmuted, but we cannot hear you. So please check your mic.
It's very, very interesting. Can you hear me now?
I'll just come back to you. Just check your mic and see if we'll just leave you on spotlight. I'll take another question. We can't hear you, though I know you've unmuted and trying to speak.
Okay.
What are the chances of, I see people sending messages to direct message. The problem is I may miss some of these messages because some of my colleagues are also on the call trying to point my attention to questions. So we prefer you send the question either in the Immigrate Community that you belong to, or you can also send it publicly so that way others can point my attention to it. Yes. So what are the chances of technician approval if previous endorsement application is rejected? There's a very high chance of approval, depending on if you've sorted the reason why the application was rejected. And there are several reasons why applications are rejected. Some of the reasons, and they will give you a reason. The good news about the technician visa is that unlike many other visa types that will just give you a rejection and say no, full stop, they will say no because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or because of this issue, you qualify under one of the 3 criteria, or you qualify under 0, or you qualify under, and so on. You have to take a look at that criteria. You have to take a look at that reason and then say, is this correct? Are they saying the truth, or maybe you misrepresented yourself? We've worked with many people, particularly this year, 2021, where they got rejected, and then it was just a case of repackaging the application. And then repackaging the application, they were accepted, and they were accepted. We worked with many people like that because the assessors are also expecting to see your profile in a certain light. The assessors are expecting to see your profile in a certain light. And so if you don't present yourself in that light, that's also a problem. That's also a problem. So what you need to do is take a look at the reason, take a look at what you submitted, and then compare to say, okay, are they saying the truth, or are the assessors mistaken? Within 30 days of getting your rejection from technician, you can do something called an endorsement review. To a large extent, you have already paid for the endorsement reviews. And so if you really believe that they've made a mistake, you have nothing to lose by doing that endorsement review. Now, once you've done the endorsement review, it's either a positive response or a negative response. If it's a negative response, there will be additional feedback. So you now have 2 feedback on your profile on what you submitted to say why they don't think you qualify to go to the UK. And based on that feedback, you can then decide what you need to do next. And it will depend, right? And if you need help, we have the 10 minutes free short inquiry session, which you can use for us to take a quick look and be able to give an informed opinion around why and what you should be doing. You can book for that. In addition, we do have premium services as well that you can book as well. Yes, so another question here. Sir, have you sorted out your mic now? Let's check. And then if you want to come on stage to ask question, just raise your hand, switch on your camera, and then we'll be able to put you on spotlight. Let's check. You can try and unmute again and see if you can. My question is the area of German tech visa. are there specific companies recruiting with visa sponsorship, and any ideas where we can get these companies to apply to? If you attended the open day, 3 open days ago, we had someone speak about the German tech visa, and part of some of the things that was shared are some of the sites where you can actually apply to. What I would advise you to do is please go watch that open day. It's just over an hour as well, and it will give you a lot of information. The second thing is that if you are not already getting recruiters asking you to say, are you interested in this role or that role, you may want to also check your profile, right? Particularly if you're a developer or a PHP, Python, all of those developers and all of that, you should already be getting technical recruiters signaling at you to say, hey, are you interested in this particular role or this particular role? One of the tricks that someone mentioned was that you can change your location on LinkedIn to Germany, for example, or Berlin, for example, and it will signal to technical recruiters in that area to say, oh, there's this person in what's in, and then you can always ask if they come to you to say, do you offer visa sponsorship? Because of course you need that for what you are looking for. But these recruiters are also looking all over the world for talent, particularly if they are able to do sponsorship. They are looking for talent. So if nobody has even gone in your DM to say, Alpha, are you interested in something, right? You should probably check your profile. It may not be that your profile is not suitable. It may also just be you are not signaling the right things on your profile, and you may want to check that as well. Yeah, if you want to ask a question, as I mentioned, you can raise your hand, switch on your camera, and then we'll get to the question. Thank you very much. I want to ask, does having an internship count as years of experience for Tech Promise? Yes and no, right? Because some people's internship they were serving tea, whereas some people's internship was that they built a global platform that millions of people are using. It depends on what your internship entails specifically, and whichever one it was, you will need to show evidence for that. You will need to show that, oh, this is what I was doing. This is what I was able to achieve. This is my own specific contribution. So it's not a case of you saying that, oh, it's not a case of you saying that it's this or is that, and all of that. You need to have the right evidence. If you are, depending on the technical skill you have as well, they will check things like your GitHub and so on, because they want to see if you are the right kind of talent that they are looking for. Somebody asked in the DM to say, do you support with UK skilled visa sponsorship? No, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that we have relationship with technical recruiters that do the sponsorship. No, in the sense that if you are not someone we are trying to employ in our company, in either our Nigerian company or our UK company, we cannot sponsor you. So it's not something that is available to thousands of people, but we do have relationship with technical recruiters. We have a UK company as well, and so on. But at the end of the day, your profile needs to match what people are looking for. Very helpful. Answered already. Okay, so we focused on 5 key visa types today, and I would just like to say a few things to about 5 different categories of people within the immigrant community that we've seen. And it will help. Someone is asking that we're treating the scale of visa as well. The scale of visa, we're still waiting for full information around the scale of visa, particularly around qualification and several other things as well. We know that it's something that is coming and is going to come very big. It will be launched in February 2022. And the full details of that specific visa, we are looking forward to seeing it and all of that. But yes, scale of visa is going to be part of what we will be looking at, particularly in the immigrant community. But if you are qualified for the scale of visa, you are properly qualified for the innovator visa as well. So you may want to take a look at innovator visa. There are no age limits for many of these visa types that we've talked about. In fact, there's something called ageism in the Western world. So here in Nigeria, you may see that, race, you can disqualify people because of their age. Abroad, you can't disqualify people because of their age, right? And so some of those age limits but you can't say, I'm a 50-year-old. You can be a 50-year-old that just got into tech. You can qualify as exceptional promise. I know of someone that was 45 that got exceptional promise, for example, right? But you can't say I have 30 years, 20 years experience in tech, and then I'm interested in exceptional promise. That won't work at that point, because to a large extent, you've shown your potential over the last 20 years. And so they want to be sure what you can do. Okay, some advice to, I'll come back to more questions in the chat. I'll just give some general advice to 5 categories of people in the immigrant community. Let me just mention the category and then I'll give some advice. We have people in the community who are beginners in the field of technology. We'll be sharing some advice for you. We have people in the community who are somewhere in the intermediate level of their career in the field of technology. I will share some advice for you. We have people who have advanced skills in the field of technology, 5, 10, 15 years experience in the field. We have some information and advice for you as well. We have people, and these are the 2 other categories. We have people who are ready to apply for one or the other of these visa type. We would share a few things around that for you. And then finally, we have people who are currently not in their own country, but where you are at the moment, you don't have a pathway to settlement. One popular one right now is going via the student route in the UK, going via student routes in Canada, and so on. And you don't have a pathway to settlement. And that's also a problem. And then we'll talk about that as well. For beginners in the field of technology, what I would advise you do is that start planning your career journey. Don't just focus on building skills. So yes, you are building your skill, but at the same time as you are building your skill, be building the right experience and be building the right exposure at the same time. Those 3 things can happen in parallel. So don't wait till after you have 2 years experience in the field before you now start building the right exposure for your profile. You will have just wasted a bit of time because you could have been building those 3 things at the same time. And so, and then for people that are already in intermediate level, take a look at your profile from those 3 things we've mentioned: experience, skill, exposure, right? If you have experience in a certain type of tech, so one of the popular ones that I see a lot are people who have A+ and have been managing physical servers for many years, but you've never done anything cloud servers, you've never done anything DevOps, and so on. Whereas most of the world right now, they are decommissioning their data centers and they are moving to the cloud, right? So there's a huge scarcity of cloud engineers, and there's not as much scarcity of physical server engineers. I mean, globally now, not in any particular country. Build the right skill. Look at what is trending. Look at some of the things that there's a gap for at the moment. The good news is that to a large extent, because you already have intermediate level of experience, you can quickly build and add to that, right? Also start building the right experience. You can do freelancing, you can do part-time job, you can do those kinds of things for you to build the right experience. Because you can't say you're a DevOps engineer, but you've never spun up a server, because the only work you've had to do was that you had to maintain something that other people have built. So then go and volunteer your skills somewhere so that you can actually have practical experience along those lines as well. Because when recruiters are looking at that, when assessors for visas are looking at that and so on, they are interested in the fact that you've done across the gamut. So that's important to you. And of course, if you are advanced in terms of skill and advanced experience in the field of technology, you may also want to ensure that you are not just a local champion. Ensure that you have options, right? For some of the people in the community, some of the things they talk about is children. Some of the things they talk about is their family and all of that, looking for a better life for their family and so on. But in terms of your career as well, it may be important for you to take a look at your career and compare it globally, right? Compare your career globally and then be able to make the right decision of what it is that you need to do at this point in time or not. For people ready to apply, look for help. It doesn't have to be Emigrate, but Emigrate is available to help, some for free, some that is premium, but really it doesn't have to be just Emigrate, but we advise that you ask for help. Don't do it yourself. Let other people who are familiar with the journey do it with you, because it gets easier, it gets less frustrating. And then some things that you could have missed, they may point them out to you. Ask for help. Don't just pay and apply and what's the name? We see many of those, and it's a bit more expensive for you at the point when you've already submitted your application and then you're trying to resubmit a new application. At the very least, you've wasted money submitting your first application that you could have fixed some things before you submitted that application. For those people that no pathway to settlement, you need to start working on that pathway to settlement. Don't assume that, because one of the trends we see now, and yes, it's a valid pathway, which is that apply for masters, your spouse is able to travel with you, and then you get 2 years settlement and all of those kind of things. The problem is it doesn't have a pathway to settlement. So you need to have the plan for that settlement. Yes, you've been able to move from your home country, but then you need to have a plan for settlement as well eventually, right? What is that plan? If it's that you want to be able to get work sponsorship, something you shouldn't forget is that you are probably moving with some experience already. Maybe you already have 4 years, 5 years experience. Do you need to start applying as a student, or are you able to start applying as an expert? Right? Because you were already an expert before you moved in the first place. So maybe that's something that you want to take a look at, but please be careful. Many people were burnt because of this lack of pathway to settlement about 10 years ago. Many people were burnt. And so please, and please, and please, if that's the pathway you are following, please just be careful and do your own research as well as possible. But yeah, so yeah, that being said, thank you. I'll just go back to the chat to read the final few questions, and then we'll close the session for today. Certification, if you're in tech, people don't really care about certification per se. What they care about is what you are able to do with that certification. And so to a large extent, if you have certification, what would happen is that they will still test you in one way or the other to make sure that you didn't just go and use dumps to pass that certification at all. If you have it, it's good. We're not discouraging you from focusing on certifications. It's useful, particularly in some fields. It's very useful. We are not discouraging you, but please bear in mind that if it's for a role, they will still test that you have the skill that certification says that you have. And then if it is for visa, TechNation, for example, removed certification from the list of requirements December 2020. And so before December 2020, you could show continuous learning as one of the ways in which you are globally attractive. And what people were doing is doing a bunch of Coursera courses and so on, and then tendering that as part of their qualification criteria. And after a while, they got tired of seeing that. And so they removed continuous learning totally from one of the options for you to qualify for the exceptional promise or the exceptional talent route. From an Emigrate perspective, we have a bunch of services that is able to help you. Many of them are free, some of them are paid. You can start with the free one. For most people, what you need to start with are the free services, and we are able to help with information, with general inquiry. We're able to help with coaching and handholding. We're able to help with preliminary assessments around whether or not you qualify. We're able to help with a self-directed roadmap, or an hand-holding kind of roadmap of these are the things that you need to do for you to be able to qualify. With the Global Talent Visa, for example, we're able to help with reviewing your application for endorsement. We're able to help with the endorsement review process and many more as well. We are focused on tech-enabled visa opportunity, we believe that we are the only ones focused on tech at this point, because that's the unique niche that we are focusing on as emigrants and as emigrant community. We do have the community as well that you can join. It's not as active as we want it to be, but we are driving engagement and just making sure that we are adding value to each individual who is on this pathway with other people as well who are on the same pathway. Free services are available. We do have some premium services as well, like the Emigrate Circle, like the personalized coaching and consultation, usually about 1 hour. Like the standard package, we have the Emigrate Premium service, which is a 1 to 2 year hand-holding session, because we believe that within a 2-year period, you will qualify for one of these visa types, as long as you follow the roadmap, as long as you do all the things that you need to do. It's a lot of hard work. Think about it. If it was just easy peasy, then everybody would qualify and have left your home country in the first place. But it is possible, it is doable, and to a large extent, many of us on this call already, you were already on this path anyway. And so this is something that can help you in one way or the other. Also, we mentioned the Bincom Global Tech Program, which helps you from beginner level, where you can learn the skills needed, start gaining the experience and gaining the exposure in parallel. And then within a 1 to 2 year period, you will qualify for some of these visa type. Or if you're already on the advanced level and you're already experienced, you have the right skill, this program also helps you to gain the right exposure and experience in the field of technology. It costs 1.2 million naira for the 1 to 2 year period. However, the company is able to invest in you to say you can learn tech now and then pay later as well. For those of us that are qualified already, are looking to apply, you can use something like the Bincom mentoring platform to mentor people, and that will be part of your profile in the short run and in the long run. And if you are already ready to apply, we can help with review of your endorsements, application, and several other things like that. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that we've been able to add some value to you as a community. If so, we ask that you please share information about this, share information about this tech-enabled visa pathway, share information about Emigrate itself and some of the services and opportunity available. Let your community know that these things exist, because the major issue that we've seen is that many people do not even know it exists at all. We've shared the link to the video for today's session on the chat just now, and we ask that please copy it now. Usually the videos of Emigrate's open day sessions are premium, meaning that you would pay to get links to the video, but you can have access to those videos right now. So please, you can copy the link. And if you're interested in a specific video type and all, you can also ask as well within the community generally. My final words today would be, please take action. We've informed you about many things. You now know that you could qualify, or you are qualified already. You now know that you can take the next step of moving forward. The question is, are you going to take that action? Or it would be December 2022, and then you would just be hearing, oh, these are some of the things they said 1 year ago, or you would have actually taken the right action. For those that already qualify, these opportunities will not be open forever, even though we believe many of these will be open for the next for the many months to come. And so also take action as soon as possible to get on the pathway, to get ready to apply, and to take a look at your profile to make sure that if there are things that you should be doing, you already know those things. Not that when you're about to apply, then you realize that, oh, there's X that I didn't have and I could have added if I already knew 6 months ago or 1 year ago. Thank you so much for joining us, and we do hope that you have a fantastic